We are live in the place to be.
Yeah.
What's going on, Kristen Stats?
Lord have mercy. Not much. What's going on with you?
Kind of like what you just said. Lord have mercy, but
I like your sweater.
thank you. I'll spare you the woe is me.
Yeah, there's a lot of that around.
Yeah. Very interesting times, but just got to keep your head up.
Yeah. And then what's supposed to be our escape in the city of Chicago, not so much.
It's just another trip down a razor blade into a pool of alcohol.
Just keep on torturing ourselves.
Yeah, they do, and they keep it. We allow it.
That's what I'm saying. We keep on torturing ourselves by getting involved. I
Yeah,
don't know what's happening with my hair here. It's just doing something on its own.
yeah.
Yeah, so what do you want to get into first?
Well, this is Bull Spit, so I guess we'll start with the Chicago Bulls. Big news this week was the trade of one Zachary Earl Levine.
Is his middle name Earl?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't recall ever seeing Earl. Yeah.
So we traded Zach for a bag of Skittles, couple of white guys. I forget their names.
Herder.
Herder.
We
I
got
heard Herder can shoot.
I guess he didn't average much. At one point, I think one year he was a good shooter, and now he's kind of fallen off. But he'll never get in the game. It's Billy.
Yeah.
They
New guys
were
get no love from Billy.
yeah. Then there's a Zach Collins, a Trey Jones,
Okay.
and got back their pick.
Got back our first round pick. Now is that top 10 protected? Is that what I heard?
It was when so that's when they gave it to whatchamacallit.
San Antonio.
Yeah. And right now where the Bulls are, they're not even gonna get into that top. They're still gonna be low. High, but low. You know what I mean? Not that Cooper Flag dream is over. They're not gonna
if we land that pick, you would have to almost think the fix is in.
Yeah, we got that once. We got it.
If the fix is in and we are granted that pick because the NBA wants to get Chicago, the third biggest market in the NBA, if they want to get Chicago back in the mix, which with ratings down and people not tuning into the NBA, Chicago being back would at least pique our interest a little bit more because word is around town people aren't watching the Bulls.
Well, number one, it's not right. It's not quality. I use the antenna, but there's when you're watching it,
right.
It'll freeze right in the middle of some 10-0 run by the Bulls, and by the time you get back, like the crowd's going crazy, and you miss 8 shots.
Oh wow!
Okay. No, it's not that bad. And I think you don't know what they were doing. I just have a lot of issues with the whole thing.
Well, what do you feel about what they got back for Zach? Like, give it to me. Like, what's your, we knew they weren't going to get a perennial all-star back in return for giving up that.
I think I'm not in the inside rooms, but I think they could have gotten back better. But I think their whole goal was to get their pick back. And so whatever they had to do to get back their pick. That's what they were going to do.
Okay.
Yes, they're the whitest team in the NBA. They are right now. Yes,
they have gotten very white.
They are.
I mean, not
And
that.
there are about 9 guards on the team. Trey Jones is 6'1". There's more 6'5", 6'5", 6'6". There are 9 guards on the team. Once Vooch is out the game, there are no other big guys because Jalen Smith really isn't a big guy.
Well, he doesn't play like a big guy. That's for certain.
No, he spends his time out on the perimeter. Now, when he's down there, he can get, but he's not a big body down there. He's a taller guy with longer arms.
But he's not a big body who's doing big body things down there.
No, I can't see anyone that they got in the future unless it's on the bench. Maybe Herder can be that guy we've been asking for to come off the bench to shoot some threes. Maybe. AK today called Trey Jones, that's Tyus Jones' brother, called him a true point guard. He's 6'1". And they already have 2 point guards, a part-time point guard, and another point guard, and another point guard, and another guy.
So on and so on.
The other guy, the Zach Collins, I guess he's a bigger guy, so he could be that other big body, I guess. But it's just a bunch of nothing. So really the whole trade was to get
rid of Zach's salary.
Yeah, to get rid of his salary and get that pick. But a couple of reporters have said, so with Vooch, when the one reporter who said you traded Caruso, DeMar, and Zach, and you got Josh Giddey, Herder, Collins, Jones, and a pick. 2 All-Stars, 1 second-team defensive player. And that's what you got back in return. DeAndre Hunter went for something better. Zach DeMar and Alex Caruso. They had a deal with the Warriors last year for Alex Caruso that included picks. They said, nah. Then they traded him in the offseason.
We're going to stand pat last year.
And we're going to trade him in the offseason.
We said, we're good with this play-in season, this play-in shit.
And this fool says he wants to get into the playoffs this year. So why do you trade Zach?
So what did you trade Zach for?
If you still are working, because the only young guy you want to see is Matis. And Zach and Vooch and Lonzo weren't taking Matis' spot. The person who was taking Matis' minutes was that damn Patrick Williams.
Thank you. Who they could have sat down last year. So this is what is frustrating the hell out of me is they're not even doing a rebuild right. Like if you're gonna tear it down. Tear it all the way down. If you're not gonna get anything back for Zach or for Vooch or whoever, fine. If you want to start over, you want a clean slate, get salaries off the books, fine. I could be okay with that. I would learn to be okay with that and respect that they're actually tearing it down. But this half-assed, like trade Zach away, but then, we weren't offered enough for Vooch. Well, what wasn't enough?
And this Vooch is having one of his best years in a while. The Warriors were going to give you something, and you're tearing down anyway. So then there's all these stories where they're setting up the groundwork for the summer. You're still in the desperation mode. So people are going to give you whatever they want to give you or give you nothing. And the last time you did that, I'm in the summer mode. And I don't dislike Josh Giddey. But what the Warriors were offering for Alex Caruso last year was way more than what they wound up getting for him. The last time AK played this summer game, all we got was Giddey. You have this 1 pick. So once you get the 1 pick in the first round, great. Now, if someone's giving you second round, if someone's giving you whatever for Vooch, take it. Take it for Ball. You have other people who can be the damn mentor on this team. If teams wanted Ball, Kobe, Patrick, Vooch, do it. Once Zach was gone, I was like, okay, then I don't want any of them here because then it looks crazy.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to the Ball thing in a minute, but But I'm just wondering, because the report said the Bulls did not like the way the trade, like at the last minute, Golden State came back trying to get Vooch today.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bulls didn't like the way the deal was constructed. I don't know what that means.
Yes, me either.
Did not like the way it was constructed. Was there a third team that they didn't want involved? What do we need a third team for?
Right. Constructed. What were they giving you the wrong basketballs for them?
Right.
Like, at this point, you keep talking about you're in a transition. You have a team, you have a former All-Star, you have a great defensive player, and then you have a team of what ifs, maybes, we hope so's. So why are you even keeping? People are gonna. Lonzo Ball would be a great addition to a team in the hunt. Okay, you don't need him full-time minutes. He can come in there and does what he needs to do. People need a big guy who can score. Yeah, he's not good defensively, but who is really that much anymore?
Right.
So he's going to score for you. Hell, even people were checking in on Kobe. I think the Thunder, they were checking in on Kobe. Somebody wants Kobe, go get him, take him.
I've been saying this for the past month and a half that I thought Kobe was possibly their best trade piece that they could get something
so
evenly valued back for. Far more than Zach, far more than Vooch.
Right. You aren't going to, with either one of those, Vooch and Zach, you weren't going to get back 24 and you weren't going to get back 20 and 10. You're not getting that back.
No.
That isn't what you should have been going for at this point, because you missed that boat 3 years ago when you could have traded them and you probably would have gotten more value. And maybe by this time, the rebuild would have been, okay, who are we getting in free agency by this year? But you didn't do it. And honestly, I didn't want to do it because I don't want to watch bad. But once you traded Zach this year, I was like, well, I want to watch bad at this point.
Then just burn it all the way down. Don't burn a piece of the house down and still try to live in it.
And then you burn the best piece.
The best piece. You burn the kitchen down, or like the most integral part of the house. You burned it to that part down.
When you look at Vooch, the last game, he's like, I mean, Vooch is probably crying on the inside. He's not trying to be somebody's mentor. He's 30-something. He's like, he said, I want to go to a win now situation. He has said this.
Vooch, for all intents and purposes, probably more so on the tail end of his career, or at least on the tail end of his like effectiveness.
Right.
As you know, his height
games,
of his effectiveness.
Yeah, 82 games, 28, 30 plus minutes. Yeah, he's getting.
This is it.
Luckily for him, he's a slower mover one, so he can probably last longer because he doesn't thrive on going fast and all that kind of stuff.
True, and he's proven to be pretty sturdy.
Yeah, the last time he had to miss games, he got kneed in the groin. So, but so you don't. There were 2 deals out there for him. 2 deals. They didn't like either one. The way they were constructed. What could the Warriors have said that you were like, nah, but you said okay to Zach Collins, Huerter, and Jones?
Trey Jones.
I'm sure the Warriors have something just as good. And I know the main thing on the Zach trade was the pick. I understand that. But the Warriors had to have had something good enough.
Or bring in a third team. Like there's no reason they shouldn't have been able to move Vooch. I mean, and then what are you playing for? Like you're gonna try to keep playing and compete because you still want fans to show up and spend money on concessions and all of that.
But then if that's part of your thought, then don't you keep the more exciting player who you could also trade in the summer?
And you're not getting better than what, 11 if it's top 10 protected?
Yeah. I think they can get in the top 10, right? Or I don't know how that pick went. I can't remember how that pick went. It was their pick. They traded it when they got DeMar DeRozan. So they traded their first round pick to get DeMar. And then that's why people were so worried about this year because if something happened, whatever it was, if they got out I don't know what the thing is. I'm not up on it because they just got on my nerves hearing about it. But today, so there are like 2 games, a game or whatever ahead of the 76ers, who they're trading people away. And then after the 76ers, there's no one under them that has a chance to get into the play-in game. So there's a good possibility that they'll make the play-in. So then we'll be celebrating, oh, we don't need people. Look at these youngins. You were always had a chance to get into the play-in. So now we're not even tearing down. They're not even going to tank correctly.
You're not even going to tank correctly.
And then if you were going to, I know we're going to get to Ball. Okay, then if you were going to keep Ball, then Vooch goes, Kobe goes, Patrick Williams goes.
Please, Patrick Williams, go.
Patrick Williams,
Cowardly Lion, must go.
He could go for the equipment manager.
And you have a good tape guy that we could use.
And then they had the nerve to celebrate that this man scored double digits 3 games in a row, and those scores were 11 and 10 and 12.
A number 4 pick, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, not even like high double figure.
Exactly.
And all because he was benched, pretty much. All because he was taken out of the starting lineup, by the way.
Which we have been calling for since the beginning.
For at least 2 years now.
That he is a bench player. And they're like, oh, look at him thriving and blah, 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 blah. Well, what's he going to do when you rebuild and you have a star here? Because he's not the star.
So I see you have fallen out of that fuzziness that you were trying to love him into being valuable, and you couldn't do it.
I could not.
He's not valuable.
No. I think he scored 6 or 8 yesterday. It's like you couldn't even keep scoring 10. You can't score double figures every game.
He'll never average double figures.
$90 million, and they had the nerve to celebrate. Hey, 3rd game in a row, double figures. It's 12. It's 12.
He's averaging over these 3 games. He's averaging probably like 11 points.
Right. And yesterday dropped him again. I never, I'm on record as I never wanted a rebuild, but once the trade happened, okay, rebuild
and tear it down.
Not this half-ass thing we're doing. Now you still have, and I never wanted Vooch to go, but once one of the dominoes
start that,
yes.
Once the first domino gets tipped, then let it all fall.
Go. It would have been different if they traded Zach and they got Michael Porter Jr. Remember that was a rumor?
Right.
Like if you had traded Zach and you got something quality, okay.
In return.
Now maybe you are gonna like build with younger, good players. But once the first domino fell, it's over.
Clear the table.
It's over.
You traded this man while he was off on paternity leave.
And they said it was amicable, and Vooch said he called him right away and, talked to him about it. And like all the guys saying like, they sounded happy and sad, happy for him, sad that he's gone. He's been a mentor, blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. So all that nonsense about him being a bad teammate.
All a bunch of huff. We knew that.
That's what they do when they want the fans to get on the side of it's time to trade them.
Yeah. That is just dirty. That is just dirty Chicago media sports owner bullshit. Yeah.
They build you up to eventually tear you down when they're ready for you to go.
And they do it to everybody. They did it to Jimmy Butler, the guy who they traded away to get Zach.
Right.
They did it to Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm. They tried to do it. They try to do it to all of them. Anyone who has any type of name recognition, once they're tired of you, they know who in the media they should feed. They feed it to the right people, and then everyone starts believing it. And then it turns into, get this guy out of here. And it's fine to get this guy out of here because you're going to tear it all down. But get this guy out of here and there's still pieces. What are we doing? Why is Kobe here? He is not the future. Remember, he was supposed to, you're going to build around this guy. Absolutely not.
No, we've seen what Kobe is. He was probably his best year last year, and he came back down to being Kobe.
So he is always going to be something in the middle.
He's all over the place.
He's not going to be what he was last year, and he won't be terrible. He's just going to be mid. He's going to be, as the kids say, mid.
Just mid.
That's it. So you still don't have, your only possibility is Matas until the league figures him out, and then he'll have to figure out the league. It's not Ayo. Ayo's a great piece.
I said you could have traded away Kobe, and Ayo could fill his shoes in a year for all it's worth.
Yeah. And Ayo came back down to earth with his shooting. His three is not hot like it was last year.
No.
And then you have Julian Phillips is a piece. It's time to see these young guys play. Well, they've gotten decent.
And get these other guys out of the way and let the young guys play them. And get Patrick Williams out of the way. He's in everyone's way.
He said, I got game. And he did for 10 or 12. I think everyone needs the coaching, the front office. They put these expectations on him that were never gonna come true.
Never gonna pan out.
That was never him. And so because he was picked so high, we're like, well, there must be something there. And then he would
never anything.
No, he'd have a good game when it didn't matter. And that was like 20 points. It's just, he is who he is. And they need to stop acting like he's really a critical piece.
Or that he's just waiting to come out of his shell.
Yeah.
And he's going to explode into this great player.
No.
This number 4 pick. And this is it.
This
is
it.
His feeling. This is it.
You'll occasionally get a 20-point game out of once in a blue moon.
And then he'll follow it up with a 4-pointer.
Yeah. And this is who we have. And if they're okay with that, fine. But he's not a cornerstone in what you're trying to build next. He's just there. He's a piece. He's part of your bench. Paid $90 million.
Speaking of pieces, I guess we can get to the next move, which broke news yesterday, was the surprising Lonzo Ball extension.
Yeah.
2 years, $20 million. There's an option after year one. Mm-hmm. Club option after year one?
I think so, yeah.
At first I was just like, oh, what the hell are they doing? I mean, ridiculous. But then I thought about it, like, was there any market for him? I don't know. Who's going to trade anything away for him? You got a guy who still can't play back-to-back games.
Yeah.
He's a medical marvel. Yes. I like Lonzo Ball. I love his game. Mm-hmm. He is the smartest player on our team. Mm-hmm. He is the only real point guard on our team who has real court vision. But I'm just kind of like,
They were offering up, the contracts were going to be too big, I heard. Like some of the people that they were offering, it was going to mess them up contract-wise, is what the rumors were. Because he could have been a piece. And then, when you say, well, where are you going to get? I mean, if you're tearing it down, doesn't matter. I guess you need a bunch of bums.
I guess you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get much of anything for him. Mm-hmm. But you have invested a lot in him.
Yeah.
Over this past 3-4 years.
And
you paid him upwards of 60 million. I mean,
$60 million for
$60 million
and it might
for
be for a year.
16 to 20 games.
Yeah. Woo. And I guess
You let him go and do his thing. You let him find his own doctors when he wanted to. You dealt with his father. You. So ultimately, and if you're rebuilding and you want somebody there to teach young guys the game, I guess you could have done worse than Lonzo Ball.
For Lonzo, if he left here, nobody's paying him $10 million next year.
No. And supposedly it's just under 10 next year. So it's someplace around 9. And then if they pick up the option, it'll be like 11 for the second year. Right.
It's the Bulls. They're going to pick it up. Unless
it's kind of a, I don't know. They said the mid-level exception is someplace around 13, 14 million. So I guess if you're only paying him 8 or 9 next year and he holds up and the knees hold up, then okay. Then you maybe got a decent deal that's going to help you with your rebuild that you can't seem to get right. I'm really reaching here.
He calls it a transition. They're in a transition.
Yeah, we know what that is.
I mean, I see why they did it. Or I see, at first I was like you too, like, what are we, like, I don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Because my thing is, once the first domino fell, I think all of the other dominoes should have been gone.
Which is what we all expected too.
Yes, this team should have been gutted. Just gutted, and you have some take expiring contracts, all that kind of stuff, so you can start everything over next year. You decide who you want to keep. So it was shocking. And then as more and more news came out, and then Vooch said, I don't expect much news tomorrow. You could just hear his heart.
He's like, he knew. He's like, I'm getting kept.
My heart's breaking.
My mighty heart is breaking. Maria. I'll be waiting in the Humvee.
Like, I gotta stay with the team that still won't damn find me when I'm wide open and there's a 6'2" guard on me.
Billy, why don't you throw me the rock?
Okay. There's a real good name you just mentioned. How is he still standing? How does he get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 4 years. 4 years.
And was campaigning quite hard to stay. Did you hear his presser about wanting to build something?
Yes.
And wanting to be a part of this?
Yes.
Like, are you serious, man?
How he has 1 year over 500. 1 year. 21, 22. That's when you had all the guys, right?
The gang was all here.
Yes. And the first year he got here, I think he came in the middle. He came after, I forgot how many games he got here, whatever. You have Vooch, Kobe, Patrick, Zach. They were 31 and 41. So you saw some light. You're like, I see some light. Then you get 21, 22. And now the only difference was Lonzo after that. And he could never get 3 former All-Stars. He could never get 3 former All-Stars.
To 500.
A defensive stopper and up-and-coming talent to 500. Yet, he's going to get to stay.
Yeah.
He still can't teach his team how to find the open man.
Or not turn the ball over.
He still can't teach his team how to do basics.
Basic, sound, fundamental basketball. And he's who you want teaching your young up-and-comers. Like, his wife must just love it here, or something. Something makes him like
It
there
must be
is
the
a
most money he
reason
was gonna
behind
get.
him wanting to stay.
How shocked would you be if next year he gets a 2-3 year extension?
I wouldn't be shocked at all at this point.
Yeah.
Because who else would want this job who's worth a damn next year?
Oh yeah, especially next year.
Especially next year. Who's going to want this job next year? Who's worth a damn? Besides your Fred Hoibergs and your Jim Boylans of the world.
And then, when we talk, like, so you hear, like, well, Zach wasn't a winner. They couldn't win with Zach. And that's true. They didn't win enough with Zach. But my God, he also had players like Denzel Washington. He played with, like, his stars.
And Baba the French elephant.
His stars were Larry Markkinen, who they never should have gotten rid of, Bobby Portis, Jabari Parker, Wendell Carter Jr., Kobe, Vooch, Williams, DeMar, Alex. I mean, he didn't really get players till the 2021 season.
I guess I like Zach, but I can safely I when I was open about this, I don't think he was a number one on a championship team.
Oh yeah, no. He could be a great part of a three-headed monster.
Yeah, he'd be a great second, third guy.
Second or third option. Yeah. He was all that the Bulls had, so that's why he got the max, because he was the only one here. Nobody else was coming here at the time, so you knew why. And the Bulls had to do something and work. And that's another thing. The Bulls had to stop always being in the position where they have to do something that may not be the best thing to do.
But and then they take too long on when they figure out when they see what's blatantly obvious and needs to be done, then they drag their feet for like years on actually doing it. You saw this wasn't working at least 2 years ago.
Yes.
This wasn't working when Lonzo wasn't coming back. You saw this wasn't working quite a while ago. Mm-hmm. And you stood pat at the trade deadline last year. You did nothing.
Now, the problem you couldn't trade Zach last year because he was hurt. Well, he heard he was going to the Pistons, and he was like, surgery.
Yeah.
But you still could have traded DeMar, and there were offers for Alex Caruso.
They wanted to remain competitive.
And they were so stuck on the trade had to be Zach. But just like when Lonzo got hurt, this front office isn't proactive. They can't pivot. Like, they're stuck on one thing. Okay, you wanted Zach to go, but you couldn't anymore. But there were some other players that could go. DeMar, Vooch, Alex, Patrick Williams. Like, there were other players there. Kobe. When you saw that Lonzo wasn't coming back, you never found an actual point guard.
You didn't trade Kobe when you needed to the first time.
When teams wanted Patrick Williams, when we were like,
you wouldn't give him up.
Like, they're thinking.
Because you couldn't stand the thought of somebody making something of your number 4 pick that you can't make something of.
And, then they got burned when they let go of Lowry and he became an all-star.
Yeah.
Well, okay, Patrick's not Lowry. Lowry showed that he could score before you traded him. Patrick's shown you nothing. So it's just an all-around failure from top to bottom. And, and like you said, Zach could have been your great number 2 or number 3 if there were 2 really good 2s. He was the man here because there was no one else here.
There was no one else. He is our new and improved Reggie Theus.
Yeah, like he brought
MJ.
Yeah, exactly. And he brought excitement because things were starting to fall apart with Jimmy. You traded Jimmy. Then Zach was hurt, coming off and we've been watching Denzel Washington. Like, we've been watching for a while. And so then here he comes, a fresh new toy, exciting, can dunk, can move, and all that kind of stuff. And then they were never making moves even leading up to that. And then they surprised us with the DeMar when AK came, right? So then they just surprised us with this DeMar, like, oh, trying to do something. And we got surprised by the way Lonzo played, and they were the best team in the East. Then an injury goes. And their staff doesn't do enough due diligence to see how serious, like, it became more
No.
serious. And as you started seeing Lonzo's not coming back. Oh, let's just go get Dragic. Oh, okay. That's the same. Fix it. Then you have last year. Oh, okay. And then before that, Vooch said, well, this is our last time. So Vooch, the players knew it wasn't working anymore. Vooch says, well, I guess we'll try this one more time. This is it if this doesn't work. And earlier than halfway through the season, you saw it wasn't working. And you made no moves. Then over the summer, DeMar and Alex. Well, of course, Vooch had to prove himself because he had a bad scoring year. Zach had to prove himself from injury. Okay. So now they're both playing at an all-star level. And
kind of a shame neither of them made the all-star team.
Right. And then you wanted that pick back so bad that you just took whatever. And you wouldn't do anything with Vooch. And here we are trying to get into the play-in. And that's your goal. And the guys, they'll probably, of course, they'll be excited. They get in the play-in because, everybody counted us out.
Yeah, because you stink. Your organization stinks. That's why we counted you out. Because you all stink. And this stinks. The season stinks again. Ah. God.
You are right, Crooked Commish. AK told Garpax, hold my beer.
Well, you think you're bad.
Hold on, got something for you.
I could do worse than that.
Watch this. What is that, Usher? Watch this. That's
right.
That's what AK and Mark Eversley said. And
the Acme regime has been a failure.
Yeah. And Nick Friedel was on, I think he was on The Score. I think he might have been on Holmes and what's his name? Spiegel. And he said there is nothing that
he really ripped into him too. I heard.
Oh, yeah, you saw it. You saw it.
I heard it. Yeah. He really tore him a new asshole.
And it's true.
He was right.
I don't see.
He said this is the worst front office he's ever seen.
And he saw Garpax.
He said he was like, I was here for Garpax, and this is worse. They are worse than them. How did they get somebody worse than Garpax?
And they came in, and there was so much promise because of what they had done at Denver.
In Denver. Well, that's like when Ryan Pace came to the Bears.
Yeah.
Because of what had happened in New Orleans.
We almost need to not go off of track records anymore.
Nah.
Because it fails when they come here. Folks get Chicago for some reason.
And I'm not holding my breath for this Ben Johnson fella.
Ben Johnson fella.
Yeah.
We can't have another failure.
Oh, we can.
Can we?
We can.
Will we?
It's possible. It's more probable than not, unfortunately. Based on track record and based on history, there's no reason outside of just blind faith or whatever to think that any of this is going to work. To think that Acme is going to figure it out with the Bulls, there's nothing but blind faith that would make you think that. There's no proof. There's nothing that's going to make you think that the Bears picked the right coach. because they generally just never get anything right. There's
Mm.
no reason to believe Chris Getz is going to put the White Sox back together again. He was part of the problem of the last team.
And
Why
they-
would you give him the keys?
Mm.
And here we are, once again, podcasting for free.
All right, it's one thing when you do this and you're getting paid for it.
Yeah, that's one thing if you're on the score and you're getting paid
Right,
for
you
it,
got
it's a
to.
career,
It's not.
you know.
Oh my gosh! Now, and then the thing. Okay, so then the thing is, like the Bulls, they're going to be bad, but not even that bad. They're going to win some games.
It's not going to be bad enough.
No, they're going to win some games that they have no business winning.
They're not going to be bad enough because they can still win without Zach.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they can still be 5 games under 500.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they can't win.
All you need is one of your 6 guards to have a good night rotate on having a good night. Oh, Javon Carter went off for 14 tonight. You know, like, all right, that helped us win a game. Or, you know, Kobe scored 22.
And then
Julian Phillips scored 12. Like,
12. And that's going to be the 12 they needed. And Torrey Craig, he got cut and got picked up by the Celtics.
oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Good
What a
for
great
him.
landing place.
Really?
Good for him.
Probably like somebody couldn't cut me.
I'm like, cut me.
Who's like, hey, y'all want to buy me out? Something, please.
Man.
Man, I know I'm getting paid well, but it's just ain't it. It's just ain't it.
Just not it. Well, and that's your Bulls. That's it. That's it. That's your Bulls team.
Yep.
Oh my God. Well,
they won't be bad enough.
Won't be bad enough. Can't get it done.
Somebody said, I forgot what his name was. He said that other teams are really going to hesitate to want to do business with the Bulls because of however these excuse me, these negotiations and stuff have been going down. I guess they said it hasn't been really good. I was like, well, that sounds about right. It's the Bulls.
Sounds right. The name is Mud in the streets. Its name is Mud. That's about right.
Sounds about right.
Well, baseball pitchers and catchers reporting soon, or did they already report?
What, 3 days?
Report Sunday?
I think so. Was it the 9th? Did they report on Super Bowl day?
Yes, they do. That is a fact. You are right. They do report on Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
So, how you feeling about your Cubs?
Well, they're making more moves than I expected.
Well, you expected nothing, so okay.
Yes. No, they're trying to fix their bullpen. I said that was an issue. So they're working on that. And then apparently they've gave Bregman a contract offer. So, but I don't think he's accepted. I guess he's looking to see what else he can get. But if they can get him in that lineup, third baseman. Now, I don't know what happens to Matt Shaw because doesn't everybody want him?
Well, I think, I think you need to go into this season trying to win now. And I'm not sure if you can get a guy like Bregman to play third. That's definitely the way to go.
Right.
Not put your hopes on what Matt Shaw might be. There'll be plenty of time for Matt Shaw to come up because I'm not thinking you sign Alex Bregman's still pretty young, considering how long he's been in the league. Still in his 20s.
Yeah.
But I think you go in guns out, but I don't know. The Cubs just, for whatever reason, aren't able to spend the way the big boys spend. And that's just like the White Sox. They won't spend the way the big boys spend. The Bulls won't spend. Bears don't want to spend.
And the Cubs just can't convince me they don't have more money. I'm not saying you spend exactly like the Dodgers, but
yeah, I mean, there's a big gap in between what the Cubs do and what the Dodgers do. You find someplace in the middle.
Yeah. And when you spend money, maybe spend it correctly.
Wisely.
Yeah, there we go. That's better. Wisely.
Spend it less stupid, maybe.
Yeah. Give it to the players who maybe deserve it.
And not spend it on hotels in Wrigleyville.
Yeah. Dansby Swanson.
Dansby Swanson, your boy.
I hope he plays so well that I can't bother him this year. Maybe I should lead with love with Dansby. He should be my new Patrick Williams.
Lead with love. Mm-hmm. I give you about a month at most before he's in your shit house.
He struck out 20 times.
Yeah.
in 6 games.
Yeah.
Well, I can't have favorites on teams anymore because they always wind up going away. So,
maybe just keep it to yourself or something.
Yeah, I'm releasing my like of Shota and say I already lost a spot in right field. I like, see, I need to not like you. If I like you as a player,
you're out of here.
I am a Yinks.
Yinks.
As Ricky Ricardo would say.
Yinks.
So it's best that I don't like you as a player because you're going to be gone.
Here we go.
And what about your Sox? White Sox?
Not much to say there. They had Sox Fest this year.
Did you go?
No, it was uneventful. Of course, Jerry doesn't make appearances there because he's a bum. He get booed at Sox Fest, surely.
Yeah, that's all right. Doesn't
there's nothing to look forward to.
Okay.
With this team, I mean, yeah, I don't. I mean, you know.
Maybe there'll be some. Are there any young guys that will be good that'll probably come up? No.
I mean, there's some young guys that they've talked about, but nobody really like nothing like, when we were waiting for Pete Crow Armstrong to come up or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like, what's up, Lola?
Hello, Lola.
Going on? Yeah, nothing interesting going on the South Side with the Sox. Luis Roberts still on the team for now.
Isn't Cincinnati interested in him?
Yes. Bring it. Do it.
That's another what are you holding out for? He didn't have the greatest of years. Just
do it.
Yeah, you're not gonna get him back. And then, do you want him back right now? You're supposed to be bad.
Burning it down.
Yes. That's another well, it is by the same owner. If you're gonna burn it down, burn it down.
They can't figure out how to burn it down right.
If you're not gonna burn it down, keep the right players and go get others.
So do you think the Cubs can land Dylan Cease though?
Oh yeah. Who else is in? There's a couple of There's a couple of teams interested in him. That would be good. They probably want Matt Shaw.
Right.
I don't think the Cubs are willing to give up. Maybe because they gave up Dylan Cease once. So I think they're afraid of giving up a good prospect. And to get Dylan Cease, you're gonna have to give up.
I need to give up something.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give up one of your top people.
Absolutely.
The Padres aren't. He's with the Padres, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna let you. They're not gonna.
Them.
Yeah, they're not gonna let you fleece them.
This isn't the White Sox.
No, yeah,
you're dealing with,
or the Cubs,
or the Cubs.
You're not dealing with yourself. You're not dealing with your city.
Yeah.
So the Padres aren't gonna let you fleece them. So if you don't want to give up Matt Shaw, you need to find someone else.
Now, if you sign Alex Bregman, do you give up Matt Shaw
for Dylan Cease?
And Cease has only got like a year on his contract or something.
Well, I would, because I mean, Alex Bregman's not that old. He's not old.
No, he's not.
Old is he?
I think 25.
Oh, so yeah, okay. You have him for years. If he's young, I would do it, because prospects are suspects.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's 30.
Oh, okay.
I'll take that back. I'm sorry, he's 30.
Okay, he is older.
A little bit older than I thought.
Okay, maybe I would look to see if there's someone else, because third base has been a problem
for years now.
Since World Series. What's his name?
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, I think that's the last time we had a third baseman, right?
Yeah.
Who could hit and play good enough third. So I'd see who else. There has to be someone else that they could give up. Like, I'm sure, don't they have like 8 billion second baseman or shortstop? The Cubs love to get infielders.
They stockpile a lot of mediocre infielders.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's up with the Nicky Lopez pickup?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Why? That's all you can get. Is he that much better than the other guy you had, the other Nick?
Right.
Like, is he that much better than the Mastroboni? Like,
no,
you already had this guy. Why? I don't. They're just so dumb. They're just all dumb. It's just Chicago.
Chicago sports, baby.
Dumb. I know they know more about sports than I do, but their moves are.
I mean, yeah, they should, but it's like that. I don't know how. If I was making these decisions, I mean, I might do bad, but I mean, it's already bad.
I think I'd hit on more than they do.
Yeah.
Like,
I might be spending somebody else's money, so that's one thing.
I would, and right now in the league, you have to overspend. So this
Chicago.
Most other places. If you want to succeed, and it's not like you have a great organization that you can just keep not spending in, because you have young guys coming up. So you can let somebody go because you have their replacement. We don't have that type of farm system. We don't have that type of organization. So in Chicago, we do have to spend money. We don't just have their heir apparent. They're not waiting there. And when you're ready to win, to get that big closer, you're going to have to get rid of an heir apparent. Like, if you want Cease, maybe not Matt Shaw, but you're going to have to give up somebody quality. And if Matt Shaw really is your heir apparent, then just bring him up. Then why are we even going after Alex Bregman? Just bring him up now. Let him learn like Pete Crow Armstrong has. If he's really that
Moncada great. Just signed a deal with the Angels.
He sure did. That's right. Watch him stay healthy finally.
Bastard.
He'll be hitting like 260. playing the whole season.
Son of a bitch. So it came out in an article yesterday that the Sox is ranked by Baseball America as number 4 farm system.
Okay.
You know, for whatever that's worth.
I wonder how far down they are. Like,
right.
Is it anyone close?
Because AA is kicking ass.
Right.
Which
like,
means you're 2 years away.
Right. Like nobody wants who's a September call up and will stay up for good. Who's 1 year away? Like fans nowadays, we're not for that. And as the fans get younger and younger and it's instant gratification, you can't do those 3-4 year rebuilds anymore.
I mean, the Sox are at rock bottom. I mean, the worst in the history of the game.
Well,
where else can you go?
You can do 3 year. You can't do 4, 5, 6 year rebuilds. And each rebuild, each year of the rebuild, you have to see the shining some stars. It can't be, like there has to be 2 players that you're like, yes, I know they're trash, but I want to see that guy.
Yeah. No.
And
I hear you, but I mean, we had, going back to the 80s, we had a long line of great first basemen. Even Greg Walker was decent. Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko, Jose Abreu.
He was the last one, right?
Andrew.
Is he still on the team?
I mean, what's his name?
It wasn't Andrew Vaughn.
Vaughn. Thank you. Sorry. Haven't got my White Sox brain on yet.
Is he still on the team though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he was at Sox Fest.
He's our first baseman.
Is the other guy gone, Gavin Floyd? Was it Gavin Floyd? Oh, Sheets. Was Gavin Floyd a pitcher?
Yes.
My baseball brain. Gavin Sheets. Is he still on the team?
No. He might also be with the Angels.
Okay. That's right. The Angels just takes everybody.
They just take whoever. No. He's a free agent, but he hasn't signed with anybody yet.
He'll be back.
Yeah, he might be.
The Angels, that's where you go to rehab your reputation. That's where you go so that they can trade you to get some more draft or young players.
Well, I think that's about it, Kristen.
Well, we can do an RIP to
Miss Virginia McCaskey.
Our birthdays were on the same day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace to the old gal. Now sell the team. McCaskies.
I
know. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Never going to happen. Well, all right. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk some more about this half burned down house. Thank you all for joining us.
Bye.
Peace.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.